Hey everyone, today we are going to read about the twins that actually now have been found, unfortunately, dead in a river. Their names are Eliza and Henrietta. They were 32 and this happened in Scotland, in Aberdeen. It's a very weird case, which is why I wanted to read on it. They were in an apartment. They went down, I guess, 12 hours before to a bridge area, water area, the river. And while they were by that river, they stayed for about 5 minutes, didn't talk to anybody. This is during the day. And then that night, and this is January 7th when they were last seen, they got up, or maybe they already were up, around 2 a.m. and went out. They went out in sub zero conditions. They went down by this river again. CCTV has captured them. And then they were never seen again until their bodies were found on January 31st. They've been doing extensive searches, as you can imagine, of the River Dee. One body was found by a bridge, Victoria Bridge, and another body was found, I think it was by a St. Queen Bridge or something Queen Bridge. I don't know. Oh, Queen Elizabeth Bridge. They'd been searching for them for quite a long time. So now the question is, did the girls plan this and just go in the river on their own? Or is this foul play? I mean, really, it seems like it could be only two things. I suppose it could be an accident too. So maybe I'll throw accident in there as something we can look at. It's possible maybe one accidentally went into the river and another one went after her. The one thing I thought was odd when I see the CCTV is that one of them has what looks like a purse or something with her. And I just think if you were going to commit suicide, why would you bring a purse with you? It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? You wouldn't need anything with you at that point. Their belongings were found in the flat, I think, that they were living in. And strangely, their landlady had received a text saying basically they would not be back. So it's odd because also if you are going to go and commit suicide, are you really thinking about your landlady at that moment? And oh, let's make sure we tell the landlady we won't be back. It's kind of odd. You're not going to text your mother, your father, I know they had a brother, your friend to say your last goodbyes, your other sister, because not only were they twins, these two, but they were a part of a triplet. And their other sister said that they actually were in a good mood that day. They were smiling. They seemed fine. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of things that don't fit with your standard suicide. Also, the fact that they went and committed suicide together. They just decided they were going to do that. It's not your standard case. Not at all. It's just not your standard case. So with that said, I thought we would just give it a look, give it a peek-see in the cards and see what we get and see what the cards say and go from there. I'm definitely going to ask about foul play, accident, or suicide, and then maybe like what happened and why. It's odd. And this case really kind of jumped out at me as that just sounds odd. That doesn't sound normal. Now, I haven't heard anything about state of mind. Did they have mental health issues? I don't know. They were from Hungary originally, and they had immigrated to Scotland and were there. They'd been there for 10 years. It's just an odd case. Okay, so let's just ask about foul play. Let me just focus for a second on foul play. Something happening to these women. Was this a case of foul play? All right, let's see what the cards say. This is a case of foul play. Um, I hate to say it, but that's the Queen of Cups. And she's a water card. She's concentrating on that water. Um, it looks like she's very emotional, this Queen of Cups. You know, her emotions are ruling her often. Um, Maybe it wasn't foul play. It's not what I get. I get it was more of emotions. There definitely was something with emotions and that water, and they felt very drawn to that water. I feel like they were very drawn to the water. All right, let's just ask about suicide. Unfortunately, that feels more of where we're going because I'm getting those emotions coming out. A suicide. This is the Hermit. So again, I'm getting a story of these people feeling very alone, very emotional. Um, I do want to ask a little bit more because I could possibly go a different way with this. Being the Queen of Cups and she's thinking with her emotions, and the Hermit is actually kind of got that little guiding light. Could someone have been preyed on their emotions and called them out in the night to this bridge? It's a possibility with this combination that I'm seeing. So I'm going to go back and ask a little bit more about that. That they both went out together. That is interesting. Um, but let's see. Ultimately, let me ask for the state of mind. I'm going to ask for each of them. Eliza will ask first. Her state of mind. That should give us an idea of whether this was something that was well, Eliza's state of mind is being there for somebody else. That's what this card is telling me. That's the Six of Cups. So being there for somebody else. Um, and we do have a lot of, this is our second cup. Let me ask about Henrietta's state of mind. Hmm. Henrietta's state of mind. Well, I mean, Henrietta may have been ready to leave the world. This is the world card, and this is kind of often a transition card, leaving one world, moving into another. That can be translated in many different ways, but one of those ways is that it can be ready to to leave this world. So it is a possibility that Henrietta was more of the person um, feeling ready to leave things behind, and that Eliza was her support system, her sister who was there with her and taking care of her and in a weird way helping her. So I'm not seeing cards I would expect to see with a suicide, though. I'm just going to say that. I'm not seeing cards I would expect to see with a suicide because usually I get some pretty dark cards, moon, things like that, and I haven't. I've gotten a card of wanting to help someone. It's interesting. It's interesting. Let me just ask about an accident, being that we've got cards of wanting to help somebody. Was this perhaps an accident? I don't know that it was an accident. This is the Four of Pentacles. This is somebody who doesn't have a lot of money. I don't know what their financial situation was. I don't know if they were struggling, if that's a possibility, but I feel like there may have been finances were tight. There may have been some struggles there. A little bit of a feeling of I'm thinking about myself. The Four of Pentacles often thinks of himself and is not so much thinking of other people. So maybe there, a little bit of thinking of yourself and not so much other people. Let me ask a little bit more. And this is the Knight of Wands, and that is somebody who kind of rushes in, makes decisions quickly, isn't really thinking things through. Acting quickly, but not thinking. I can see some situations here that may have caused problems, some financial situations, and some quick thinking instead of really thinking things through. So I could see that that may have led to making a bad decision. Let me ask why they were on the bridge in the first place, why they went there, why they went to down by the river in the first place. Let's ask that. Well, that is a temperance card, and the temperance card is an angel. So it can be a card of passing over. They may have, unfortunately, thought about suicide, which is really a real shame. A real shame. I don't see really a nefarious character here per se. What I'm seeing is people who were kind of um, they felt a lot. They were emotionally, their emotions had the best of them. One seemed to be supporting the other one a little bit more. Um, and they may have one really wanted to leave this world. It's just a very odd situation. Um, and I mean, it looks more like money based. Let me ask, if this is a suicide, what in the world was this based on? Because it looked money based, which is odd. I mean, people go through money problems all the time without committing suicide. Well, there's money again. This is a Pentacles card, Nine of Pentacles. So this person, has money. Um, and we were asking what it was, and we saw the person who really had to tighten up on money and didn't have a lot of money. I don't know. That it just, to me, it's like that doesn't seem like enough. It doesn't seem like enough that would make you want to kill yourself. Just gonna ask a little bit more about what happened, because I just feel like this is so confusing of why this situation would be. And this is, I get this card a lot for when people go down to a river and things happen at the water. This is a water card. It's actually a sword, which is an air card, but if you look at the imagery, there's water everywhere. And they're taking their thoughts down to that water. And their thoughts aren't the greatest. You can see kind of they're tucked under, low, kind of upset looking. Not the greatest. I have seen a child now here and here. I don't know if either of them had a child. Um, I see a child in this. I didn't see anything about either of them having a child, though. There may have been a child involved here somewhere, or maybe not, the lack of a child, or not being able to have a child. Hmm. This one's a little confusing to me, to be honest. It's a little confusing to me. I'm going to ask for a little bit more information about what happened here. What I'm seeing isn't enough to make me think somebody would kill themselves over. What what happened here? Well, this is the Wheel of Fortune. That is things turning, and an event that happens that is like turning the tide, something happening that's having a significant impact. So something changed, and kind of changed quickly. Let me ask a little bit more about that. And it had a significant impact on them. And it has to do with finances. Again, I have finances. This is the Six of Pentacles. And it just feels like they did not have enough. They were reliant on something that maybe that whatever they were relying on was lost. It's sad. It's sad. It doesn't seem like somebody would do something like this over finances, but again and again I get that they were having financial difficulties. Let me ask if anyone else had anything to do with this, or if it was just them. Yeah, here we go back to finances. So whoever held the purse strings, whoever had some sort of say in their finances, in their ability to take care of themselves, in their ability to um, put a roof over their head, feed themselves, care for themselves, it has something to do with that financial situation. It's really sad. It's really sad. But it looks like it has something to do with finances, and that's what led them to kind of just decide to give up. Let me ask, did they just give up? That's what I'm kind of seeing, and it to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'll just say. I think those two are very close. This is the lovers card, and with the lovers, you can get okay, it could be a breakup and that sort of thing. Maybe somebody broke up and they lost their financial support because someone else was supporting them financially. Also, I feel like these two sisters were very, very close, and like what happened to one happened to the other. I think it happened to both of them, and I think they were both dependent. I don't know who they were dependent on or what they were dependent on, but I feel they were dependent. And there was something about losing their funding or finances. Seems very odd to me because I don't understand it. But there's a lot more to the story that has to do with their ability to take care of themselves. Something about that changed and their ability to take care of themselves changed. It's read the rod, don't quite get it. Um, it's a sad situation. It's a real sad situation. All right, I'm just going to ask anything else we need to know. Anything else we need to know about this situation? And this is the strength card, and this is like somebody holding, I feel like power over them. I feel almost like they were strong-armed or something. I feel like somebody had a say in their lives, in their finances, and they held it over their head, and they sort of were strong-arming them. It's really weird. I guess we'll wait and see what else comes out. I think more is going to come out on this. It's just an odd situation. Still, to me, it's like, oh, don't kill yourself over that. But let me just ask one more time about suicide. Was this a suicide? Because I didn't get the cards that I would expect for a suicide. I just didn't. I mean, I did get that they went down there and I see the temperance, my angel card, but tell me about their plan and this being suicide. I want to know this was a plan. You know, that is a yes card for me. It is. For triplets, there's three of them, right? We got two that committed suicide. It is a yes card for me. It does say it was a suicide. It's just sad. Just sad. Very, very sad. Okay, well, I guess we will have to wait and see what in the world was behind all of this. It looks like finances, the security. Their security and finances were in question here, is what I see. Don't understand why that is, but maybe we'll find out. All right, take care. Bye bye.